Former vegans who went back to eating meat. What changed? Turns out it re-triggered my eating disorder. Saying no to food, having to meticulously check ingredients, etc., eating differently in social settings without any cause for alarm. My dad retired and got bored, so he started farming or whatever, and started raising a couple cows, a few pigs, chickens, etc. for food, and gave me and my adult siblings some. I never had a moral problem with killing and eating animals. I just didn't like a lot of what I saw in the meat industry. There's some dissonance to the fact that I'm okay with eating an animal as long as it's treated decently while alive, but I can live that. A friend of mine was and is now again vegan. It was fucking up her pregnancy, so she went back to chicken, beef, and fish through breastfeeding, then went back to a vegan diet. Allergies to too many different beans and legumes? I didn't used to be allergic intolerant to them, but maybe it was just so low level that I didn't notice, and enough years of those made my reactions worse. Cheese. Missed a real cheese pizza. My last girlfriend had a daughter who was college-aged when we met. Her daughter ended up going vegan for a while. For a little while. Her rationale was that she just didn't want meat for some time, several years. But then she started craving it again, so she started eating it again. Which honestly is about the most based vegan take I've ever heard. She said if her body was telling her it wanted this item so much, it must have something she instinctively needed for her health, and so it made sense to her. Which, hey, fair enough. Was vegan shortly after recovering from an eating disorder, aka ED, and realized it was just an easier justification to cut out fear foods, then started traveling more and decided I didn't want to deprive myself of cultural experiences and it's more convenient. I still primarily eat plant-based, but I won't turn down a good dish with animal products. Edit typo and clarification on ED. Lol. Edit 2, I want to clarify, convenient doesn't exclusively mean monetarily. I saw some comments about that, but certain areas of the world tend to rely more on animal products, and basically came to the conclusion that Anthony Bourdain would not approve of me traveling to all these amazing places and denying enriching experiences. I had sushi again after a long time and couldn't go back. I was vegan for 3 years, and it never got any easier. I thought eventually the cravings would stop. Eventually I wouldn't want cheese, meat, etc. anymore. But no, the cravings remained constant. There was constant willpower needed to say no to the cheese plate sitting in front of me or that box of donuts over there. Then COVID happened. I got furloughed from my job and it felt like the world was ending and I was like, fuck it, I need and deserve some cheese. Some ice cream. Weirdly, a tuna sandwich. So then I was pescatarian for a while, but eventually that went out the window too. And now here we are, 4 years later, and I still can't imagine mustering the mentally energy to cut out those things again. Not me, but a family member used veganism as a cover for anorexia. They went to therapy and are doing a lot better. I tried it for 6 months to improve my health, and it totally backfired, including allergic reactions, acute eczema, and GI issues. It turns out that I have a severe histamine intolerance and also a fermentable saccharide FODMAP intolerance due to histamine again. This unfortunately includes a lot of common fruits and vegetables, plus many nuts, grains, and beans due to aflatoxin. Even on an omnivore diet, the options that are safe for me are limited. There's no way I can make a vegan diet work. I literally just cannot digest it, and there is no way to fix that. Veganism is not safe for everyone. If you're like me, it's a disaster. I'm never doing that again. I was a vegetarian for 15 years for environmental reasons, but now I eat birds. The 2 things that did it for me, 1, getting older. My then boyfriend, now husband, kept telling me I wasn't getting enough protein, but I'd always been fine with my protein intake, so I mostly shrugged that off. 2, palm oil is in a lot of vegetarian processed foods and where I got a lot of my protein from. And packaged food is also not great for the environment. I realized that I was trading one negative environmental impact for another. So I decided to reduce packaged food and be more mindful of my consumption, and also eat birds a few times a week. My energy levels skyrocketed. It makes sense that as a teenager, my body was more resilient than as a 30-year-old, and my husband could cook for us more easily. And he actually eats much less red meat mammals as a result. I had severe iron deficiency anemia for undiagnosed medical reasons. Passed out at my job at the hospital, and my hemoglobin was 5.8. While I was waiting for surgery, I ate a lot of meat and had iron infusions so I could breathe normally and not have palpitations and, you know, function. Now, I'm 95 veggie. I don't buy or prepare meat anymore, but I'm not going to melt down if someone serves me a cheeseburger.